A concept known as family honor prevails throughout the Middle East and other traditional cultures. It especially affects women who can be beaten or even killed for shaming the family honor. Julie Stahl sat down with one woman who's speaking out about the horrors these women face and what can be done to help them.
Raheel Raza, welcome to Jerusalem Dateline.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about what you actually do and maybe the women that are in need.
Well, my work is in human rights, but I've focused my work on Muslim women because I am one. And living in the West, it's really important because when I first came, the image of Muslim women was, covered from head to toe with hardly any voice at all. So it is important to speak out. And then 2 years ago, I was approached by the producer of Honor Diaries to say that this is an idea of bringing other activist women together to speak out.
And what kind of a response have you gotten from the Muslim world and from the Western world?
In both cases, I would say it's been phenomenal. So for Westerners, it's really shocking in many ways because they say we had no idea this is happening here. We've had not as many screenings in the Muslim world as, of course, we would like, but wherever we can. So we've had screenings in Cairo, in Tunis, in Pakistan, and those people who have seen it have responded very positively in the sense that, yes, finally someone's speaking out.
I read on the internet a quote from you that you are on a list of the 10 most hated Muslims in the world, and you're number 6, and you hope you get to number 1.
Well, that's basically just a way of saying that obviously something I'm doing is right because it is rankling the extremists. It is getting to them. When you start getting death threats and fatwas and hate mail, it means that there is a reaction. We have an appalling lack of leadership in the majority Sunni world, in the Muslims. And that is something that is part of the problem. You have people like ISIS and Al-Qaeda coming in saying, that they want to be the leaders, and they are so anti-women, and their whole attitude and behavior towards women is inhuman, barbaric. This is an ideology that has been promoted from Saudi Arabia on the backs of billions of petrodollars. It is a dogmatic ideology prone to violence. It is the politicization of my faith. I am a practicing observant Muslim, and I grew up in a culture in Pakistan where religion was not thrust down our throats, and it was a very different atmosphere as it is now. But in the last 30 years, we've seen the rise of this dogma, this ideology, which is very violent in nature and wants to control the world.
Oftentimes when people speak out against radical Islam, they're called Islamophobes. How do you counter that?
Very simply, by saying that speaking the truth should never be labeled as Islamophobia. Islamophobia is a term that has been coined by the Islamists, the Islamist organizations, to deflect any discussion or debate about the issue of radicalization. And it's been very successful because people are scared and they back off and they shut up.
Are you involved at all in speaking out about the growing Christian persecution from radical Islam, from ISIS? There's been a lot of...
Absolutely. Yeah. My organization, the Council for Muslims Facing Tomorrow, which is based in Toronto, was created 2 years ago, has an advisory board in which we have people of many different faiths. And when there was a rise in the persecution of Christian minorities, both in Pakistan as well as through ISIS, we had a demonstration outside Queen's Park, which is our seat of government in Toronto. And we spoke out, we invited members of the government, we got support from the Canadian government. And in my writing, in my work, we have very clearly indicated that we are totally against any persecution of minorities.
Now if someone wants to do something to help the the plight of Muslim women or persecuted Christians even, what can they do?
They can, join petitions. They can lobby. If people want, they can get in touch with us. Our organization is very active in it, and our website is muslimsfacingtomorrow.com. Or in terms of women's rights, they can get in touch with Honor Diaries. In fact, if they go to the Honor Diaries website, there is a call to action.
Thank you very much for joining us on Jerusalem Dateline.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.